Welcome back to Kringle's Christmas Stories, brought to you by KringlesChristmas.com, home of Comet's Choice premium reindeer food. Reindeer tested, Santa approved. Tonight we have a real treat, a deep dive into a heartwarming Christmas story called A Christmas Miracle at Hollyhaven House.
Sounds delightful.
So get comfy, grab your favorite holiday drink, and let's dive right in with Chapter 1, The Promise of Christmas. The snow fell softly, blanketing Hollyhaven House in a serene white. Inside, 12-year-old Maggie Bennett gazed out the window, her heart heavy with a mixture of sadness and determination. Hollyhaven House, with its gabled roof and twinkling Christmas lights, had been the heart of her family's celebrations for generations. But this year, everything felt different. Grandma Eleanor, the glue that held their family together, the keeper of traditions, the baker of the most delicious gingerbread cookies, was gone. Her absence left a void that echoed through the empty rooms.
Oh, I already feel a lump in my throat.
Yeah.
It's not just the snow that's creating a serene atmosphere, but also the way the house is described. Almost like a character itself, holding on to memories and traditions.
You're right, the house is almost like a silent observer to the family's joys and sorrows. Let's see what happens next. Maggie's dad, Jack, was struggling to keep the house afloat. The once thriving family business had fallen on hard times, and the weight of financial worries was etched on his face. The whispers of selling Hollyhaven House, the place where Maggie's most cherished Christmas memories resided, had become a chilling wind threatening to extinguish the festive spirit.
This financial struggle adds another layer to the story, doesn't it? It grounds the story in a relatable reality that many families face, especially during the holidays.
It definitely brings a touch of realism to this Christmas tale. Okay, on to the next section. Arguments erupted between Jack and Maggie's older brother Sam, who, in his practicality, saw selling the house as the only solution. Maggie, however, clung to the belief that they could save both their home and their Christmas traditions. Armed with her grandmother's spirit and a heart full of hope, she set about decorating Hollyhaven House, determined to remind her family of the magic that resided within its walls. As Maggie hung the star atop the Christmas tree, her mind replayed memories of carols sung around the crackling fireplace, the aroma of Grandma Eleanor's cinnamon rolls wafting through the air, and the joy that once filled every corner of Hollyhaven House.
It's interesting how the author uses sensory details, like the aroma of cinnamon rolls, to evoke those warm Christmas memories. It's almost as if we can smell them ourselves.
It's so evocative.
Yeah.
It really pulls you into the story.
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to the next part. But despite Maggie's efforts, a cloud of tension lingered. Christmas Eve approached, and the prospect of a family gathering felt more like a looming storm than a celebration. Maggie prayed for a miracle, something to rekindle the Christmas spirit and bring her family back together.
The author uses foreshadowing here, doesn't it? The looming storm foreshadows both the literal snowstorm that's about to hit and the emotional turmoil within the family.
Absolutely. It sets the stage for potential conflict and hopefully resolution.
Yeah.
Okay, last bit of Chapter 1 coming up. That night, as the first snowflakes began to fall, Maggie stood by the window, her hope flickering like the candlelight reflecting in her tear-filled eyes. She whispered a wish to the silent, snowy night. "Please, Grandma Eleanor, help us find our way back to each other. Help us save Hollyhaven House and the magic of Christmases."
This is a powerful ending to the first chapter. We see Maggie's vulnerability, her desperation, and her unwavering faith in her grandmother's spirit.
Yeah.
It's a poignant reminder that even in the darkest moments, hope can still flicker.
It leaves us wondering if Maggie's wish will be answered. Now let's see what Chapter 2, An Unexpected Guest, has in store. The snowstorm intensified, transforming Hollyhaven House into a secluded island amidst a swirling white sea. The wind howled like a restless spirit, mirroring the turmoil within Maggie's heart. Doubts gnawed at her. What if her efforts were in vain? What if Christmas at Hollyhaven House would forever be tainted by sadness and the threat of its sale?
Again, we see this parallel between the external storm and Maggie's inner turmoil.
Right.
It's a classic literary technique to mirror emotional states with the weather.
It's very effective, isn't it? It heightens the drama and creates a sense of foreboding. Okay, here's where things get interesting. Just as Maggie's hope began to dwindle, a pair of headlights pierced the snowy darkness. A car, its silhouette barely visible through the swirling flakes, pulled into the driveway. Maggie's heart leaped. Could it be her brother David returning home for Christmas?
Yeah.
Or perhaps her aunt and uncle bringing a glimmer of festive cheer?
This is a classic storytelling technique, creating suspense and anticipation. The arrival of this unknown guest offers a glimmer of hope amidst the bleakness.
It's like a beacon of light in the storm. Okay, let's find out who it is. The front door creaked open, and a figure, bundled in a thick winter coat, stepped inside, shaking the snow from his boots. It wasn't David, nor was it her aunt or uncle. It was Uncle Pete, her dad's estranged brother, a man Maggie barely knew. His appearance, as unexpected as a robin in winter, sent a ripple of surprise through the house.
Oh, wow, this is a twist.
Right.
Instead of someone who brings immediate joy and comfort, it's someone who brings a whole new layer of complexity to the family dynamic.
Definitely a game changer. Let's see how this unexpected arrival unfolds. Uncle Pete, his face weathered by years and hardship, held out a small velvet pouch. "Eleanor wanted you to have this," he said, his voice gruff, but with a hint of warmth. Maggie accepted the pouch, her fingers tracing the embroidered holly leaves. Inside, she found a delicate silver bell, its chime as clear and bright as a winter star.
This gift from Grandma Eleanor, delivered through Uncle Pete, is already laden with symbolism, isn't it? The silver bell, with its clear chime, could represent hope, clarity, or perhaps even Grandma Eleanor's spirit.
It's intriguing, and it definitely adds an element of mystery. Let's see what happens next. Jack, however, met Pete's arrival with a mixture of shock and resentment. Years of unspoken hurt and misunderstanding hung between them like a thick curtain of ice. The tension crackled, threatening to shatter the fragile peace Maggie had tried to create.
This is where the story really delves into the complexities of family relationships. We see how past hurts can linger, creating barriers between loved ones, especially during a time that's supposed to be about unity and forgiveness.
It adds a layer of realism to the story, reminding us that family relationships aren't always picture perfect. Okay, last part of Chapter 2. "We should be focusing on keeping the family together, not tearing it apart," Maggie exclaimed, her voice trembling with a mixture of anger and frustration. Her words, echoing through the silent house, seemed to hang in the air, a plea for understanding, a desperate attempt to mend the fractured bonds of her family. As the storm raged outside, a fragile truce settled within the walls of Hollyhaven House. Maggie, clutching the silver bell tightly in her hand, felt a glimmer of hope. Perhaps Uncle Pete's arrival, however unexpected, was the miracle she'd been praying for, a chance to heal old wounds and rediscover the true meaning of family.
This is a powerful ending to Chapter 2. Maggie, despite her young age, becomes the voice of reason, the catalyst for change. Her plea for unity resonates deeply, offering a glimmer of hope that maybe, just maybe, this Christmas could bring about a much-needed reconciliation.
It definitely leaves us on a hopeful note, eager to see how the story unfolds in the next chapter.
I'm completely hooked.
Me too.
What a captivating start to our Christmas deep dive.
We'll be back shortly with Chapter 3. Welcome back to Kringle's Christmas Stories. Let's pick up right where we left off with Chapter 3, Bonds Rekindled. The days leading up to Christmas passed in a flurry of activity. More relatives arrived, filling Hollyhaven House with a cacophony of voices and laughter. The aroma of baking cookies and roasting turkey wafted through the air, replacing the scent of tension with the warmth of holiday cheer. Maggie, her initial apprehension replaced by a cautious optimism, watched as her family, piece by piece, began to reconnect.
This shift in atmosphere is beautifully depicted. The author uses sensory details like the aroma of food and the sounds of laughter to create a tangible sense of warmth and joy, contrasting sharply with the tension and uncertainty of the previous chapters.
It's a subtle but effective way to show how the Christmas spirit is slowly weaving its magic. Okay, let's continue. Jack and Pete, prompted by gentle nudges from Maggie and the shared memories of their childhood Christmases, began to thaw the icy barrier between them. They reminisced about decorating the towering spruce in the grand hall, the excitement of opening gifts by the crackling fireplace, and the warmth of their mother's smile as she watched her sons revel in the magic of Christmas.
This is a pivotal moment in the story. The shared memories of childhood Christmases act as a bridge, reminding Jack and Pete of a time when they were united by joy and love. It highlights the power of nostalgia, especially during the holidays, to break down walls and foster reconciliation.
It's heartwarming to see those walls crumble. Let's see what happens next.
The old grievances, once so formidable, seem to shrink in the face of shared laughter and the comforting aroma of Grandma Eleanor's gingerbread cookies. Even Sam, initially skeptical of Maggie's determination to save Hollyhaven House, found himself caught up in the spirit of togetherness, offering to help string lights and hang ornaments. This scene emphasizes the transformative power of shared traditions. The act of decorating together, especially ornaments that hold sentimental value, becomes a ritual of bonding and remembrance. It's a subtle but powerful way for the author to show how traditions can bridge generations and heal old wounds.
It's a beautiful reminder of how rituals and traditions can bring families together. Let's move on to the next part. Christmas Eve arrived, and Hollyhaven House, once teetering on the brink of despair, radiated warmth and cheer. The towering Christmas tree, adorned with generations of ornaments, sparkled in the glow of the fireplace. The scent of pine needles mingled with the sweet aroma of cinnamon and gingerbread. Carols filled the air, sung with a newfound joy and harmony.
This description of Hollyhaven House on Christmas Eve is so vivid. The author paints a picture of transformation, highlighting the house's return to its former glory. It's almost as if the house itself is breathing a sigh of relief, its spirit rekindled by the love and laughter of the family reunited within its walls.
It's a magical scene, isn't it? It captures the essence of Christmas perfectly. Okay, next section. Maggie, her heart overflowing with gratitude, gazed at her family gathered around the crackling fireplace. She felt a warm presence beside her, a gentle touch on her shoulder. Turning, she saw Uncle Pete, his eyes crinkled in a smile. "You did it, Maggie," he whispered. "You brought them home."
This is such a touching moment. Uncle Pete, the unexpected guest who initially added to the tension, acknowledges Maggie's role in bringing the family back together. It highlights her strength, determination, and unwavering belief in the power of family and tradition.
It's a beautiful affirmation of Maggie's efforts. Okay, last bit of chapter 3 coming up. Maggie looked at her father, his face softened by the glow of the firelight, and her brother Sam, his skepticism replaced by a genuine smile. And in that moment, as the snow fell softly outside, blanketing Hollyhaven House in a serene white, Maggie realized that the true miracle of Christmas wasn't about saving the house or upholding traditions. It was about rediscovering the love that had always been there, buried beneath layers of hurt and misunderstanding. It was about forgiveness, second chances, and the enduring power of family.
What a beautiful ending to Chapter 3.
Yeah.
It reminds us that the true magic of Christmas lies not in material possessions or elaborate decorations, but in the bonds of love and forgiveness that connect us to our loved ones. It's about cherishing those connections, recognizing their fragility, and nurturing them with care.
It's a powerful message, isn't it? And it sets the stage for the next chapter, The Cracks Beneath the Snow. I have a feeling things are about to get a little more complicated.
Intriguing. I'm eager to see what challenges lie ahead for Maggie and her family.
Well, let's not keep you waiting. Here's the beginning of Chapter 4. Christmas morning dawned bright and clear, the snow-covered landscape sparkling like a diamond-dusted fairy tale. The spirit of celebration lingered in the air, but beneath the surface of joy, cracks of uncertainty began to appear. Jack, though visibly relieved by the reconciliation with his brother, couldn't shake the weight of their financial burden.
This is a clever shift in tone. The author juxtaposes the idyllic Christmas morning with a growing sense of unease, reminding us that even in the midst of joy, real-life problems don't magically disappear.
It's a reminder that life isn't a fairy tale, even at Christmas. Okay, let's continue.
As the family gathered for breakfast, Jack voiced his concerns. "I appreciate everyone's effort to make this Christmas special," he said, his voice heavy with unspoken worry. "But the reality is, we're still struggling. Selling Hollyhaven House might be the only way to secure our future." This is a classic conflict, isn't it? The tension between preserving a cherished family legacy and facing harsh economic realities. It's a dilemma that many families face, forcing them to make difficult choices between tradition and practicality.
It's a tough situation, and it adds another layer of complexity to the story. Okay, next section. Maggie, her heart sinking, felt the warmth of Christmas morning begin to fade. The silver bell in her pocket, a symbol of hope just hours earlier, now felt heavy with the weight of her father's doubts. She looked at Uncle Pete, hoping for words of encouragement, some glimmer of a solution.
It's interesting how the author uses the silver bell as a symbol of Maggie's fluctuating hope. Initially, it represented a beacon of possibility, but now it reflects the burden of uncertainty. It's a subtle but effective way to show how external objects can take on emotional significance, mirroring our internal state.
It's a reminder that even symbols of hope can be overshadowed by real-life worries.
Uh-oh.
Okay, next part. Keith, sensing Maggie's despair, placed a reassuring hand on her shoulder. "Maggie," he said, his voice calm and steady. "Sometimes the things that seem impossible require a little more faith and a lot more effort. Don't give up on Hollyhaven House. It's worth fighting for."
Uncle Pete, once a source of tension, now emerges as a voice of wisdom and encouragement.
Yeah.
His words remind us that even when faced with seemingly insurmountable challenges, perseverance and faith can make a difference.
It's a message we all need to hear sometimes. So let's see what happens next. As if in answer to Pete's words, A faint jingling sound filled the air. It seemed to come from the direction of the attic, a space filled with forgotten treasures and echoes of Christmases past. Maggie, her curiosity piqued, followed the sound, her heart pounding with a mixture of anticipation and trepidation.
This is a clever introduction of suspense.
Right.
The mysterious jingling sound adds an element of intrigue, hinting at something significant hidden within the attic. It's a classic storytelling technique to pique the reader's curiosity and draw them further into the narrative.
It definitely makes you want to know what's up in that attic.
Yeah.
Okay, next section. She climbed the creaky stairs, her fingers trailing along the dusty banister, her mind racing with possibilities. Was it just the wind playing tricks? Or was it something more? A sign? A message? As she reached the attic door, the jingling grew louder, clearer, more insistent.
The author masterfully built suspense, doesn't it? The description of the creaky stairs, the dusty banister, and the intensifying jingling sound creates a palpable sense of anticipation and unease. It's as if we as readers are climbing those stairs alongside Maggie, our hearts pounding with each step.
It's like we're right there in the story with her. Okay, last part of chapter 4. Maggie pushed open the door, her breath catching in her throat. The attic, dimly lit by a single window, was a treasure trove of memories. Trunks overflowing with antique ornaments, boxes filled with faded photographs, and a rocking horse, its paint chipped but its spirit intact, stood like silent sentinels of Christmases past. And there, in the center of the room, hanging through a dusty beam, was a single glass bell, its silver clapper swaying gently in the breeze, its chime as clear and bright as a Christmas star.
This is a beautifully evocative scene.
Right.
The description of the attic, filled with tangible reminders of the past, creates a sense of nostalgia and wonder. It's as if time has stood still in this space, preserving the essence of Christmases gone by.
It's a reminder that even though time passes, memories endure, especially those associated with special occasions like Christmas.
And that glass bell hanging from the dusty beam takes on an almost mystical quality. It's as if it holds the key to unlocking a hidden truth, a message from the past that could change everything.
I can't wait to see what happens next. We'll pick up right where we left off with Chapter 5, A Glimmer of Hope, after a quick break. Welcome back to Kringle's Christmas Stories. We left off with Maggie discovering a glass bell in the attic, its chime echoing through the house. Let's dive back into Chapter 5, A Glimmer of Hope. Maggie stared at the bell, mesmerized by its simple beauty. It was identical to the one Uncle Pete had given her, the one Grandma Eleanor had wanted her to have. As she reached out to touch it, a wave of warmth washed over her, a feeling of peace and familiarity, as if Grandma Eleanor's spirit was present in that dusty attic room.
This scene is so beautifully crafted, isn't it? The author uses sensory details to create a palpable sense of Grandma Eleanor's presence. That feeling of warmth, that sense of familiarity. It's as if Maggie is being enveloped in a grandmotherly hug.
It's a poignant reminder that even though loved ones may be physically gone, their presence can still be felt, especially in places where memories are deeply embedded. Okay, next section. Beneath the bell, tucked into a dusty corner, Maggie noticed a small wooden chest. Curiosity piqued. She lifted the lid, revealing a treasure trove of handwritten recipe cards, each one penned in Grandma Eleanor's elegant script. Recipes for gingerbread cookies, sugar plums, and mincemeat pies, all the Christmas treats that had filled Hollyhaven House with their irresistible aroma year after year.
This discovery of the recipe cards is so symbolic. It's not just about finding recipes, it's about unearthing a legacy, a connection to Grandma Eleanor's love and her traditions. It's almost as if Maggie has been given a tangible piece of her grandmother's heart.
It's a beautiful representation of how traditions are passed down through generations, often through simple, everyday objects like recipe cards. Okay, let's continue. As Maggie flipped through the cards, her eyes fell upon a recipe for Grandma Eleanor's famous Christmas pudding, a recipe that had been a closely guarded secret, passed down through generations of Bennett women. A smile touched Maggie's lips. She knew exactly what she had to do. This wasn't just about following a recipe. It was about honoring Grandma Eleanor's memory, about keeping her spirit alive in Hollyhaven House. It was about showing her family that their traditions, like the ingredients in this time-honored pudding, were meant to be shared and cherished.
This is a pivotal moment in the story. Maggie's decision to make the Christmas pudding isn't just about baking. It's about taking ownership of her family's legacy. It's about embracing her role as a keeper of traditions, ensuring that the spirit of Grandma Eleanor lives on in the hearts and bellies of her loved ones.
It's a beautiful example of how traditions evolve, how each generation adds its own personal touch while honoring the essence of what came before. Okay, next section. Maggie gathered the ingredients, her movements purposeful and filled with a newfound determination. She measured, mixed, and stirred, following Grandma Eleanor's instructions meticulously, yet adding her own touch, a dash of nutmeg here, a sprinkle of cinnamon there. As the rich aroma of the pudding filled the kitchen, a sense of warmth and anticipation spread throughout Hollyhaven House.
This scene highlights the transformative power of food, especially during the holidays.
Mm-hmm.
The act of preparing a traditional dish becomes a ritual, a way of connecting with loved ones, both present and past. The aroma of the pudding becomes a tangible expression of love, filling the house with the essence of Grandma Eleanor's spirit.
It's a reminder that food is more than just sustenance. It's a language of love, a way of expressing care and connection. Okay, let's see what happens next. Uncle Pete, drawn by the irresistible scent, wandered into the kitchen. He watched Maggie with a mixture of admiration and nostalgia. "Your grandmother would be so proud of you, Maggie," he said, his voice thick with emotion. "You're keeping her spirit alive." And then, as if inspired by Maggie's determination, Pete made a surprising announcement. "Jack," he said, turning to his brother, "I want to help save Hollyhaven House. I know a few contractors who can help with the repairs. We can do this together as a family."
This is a heartwarming turning point in the story. Uncle Pete, initially an outsider, now steps up, offering not just emotional support, but also practical solutions.
Right.
His offer to help with the repairs symbolizes a willingness to invest in the family's future to be a part of the solution.
It's a beautiful example of how families can come together to overcome adversity. Okay, next section. Jack, his eyes filled with gratitude and a flicker of renewed hope, nodded. "Thank you, Pete," he said. "I never thought." His voice trailed off, choked with emotion. The barriers that had separated the brothers for so long crumbled, replaced by a newfound sense of unity and purpose.
This is a powerful moment of reconciliation.
Mm-hmm.
The unspoken words, the choked emotion, it speaks volumes about the depth of their shared history and the relief of finally finding common ground.
It's a reminder that even the most strained relationships can be mended with forgiveness and a willingness to let go of past hurts. Okay, let's move on to the next part. In the days that followed, Hollyhaven House became a hive of activity. Relatives pitched in, their laughter echoing through the halls as they painted, hammered, and decorated. The scent of fresh paint mingled with the aroma of baking cookies, creating a symphony of Christmas cheer. Christmas Eve arrived, and Hollyhaven House, once shrouded in doubt and despair, radiated warmth and love. The Christmas tree sparkled, the fire crackled, and carols filled the air, sung with a joy and harmony that had been absent for far too long.
This is a beautiful depiction of the transformative power of community.
Mm-hmm.
The family, united in their purpose, works together to restore Hollyhaven House to its former glory.
Right.
It highlights the strength that comes from shared effort and the joy that arises from creating something beautiful together.
It's a reminder that even the most daunting tasks become manageable when we have the support of loved ones. Okay, last part of Chapter 5. Maggie, her heart brimming with gratitude, watched her family gathered around the fireplace, their faces lit by the soft glow of the firelight and the twinkling Christmas lights. She clutched the silver bell in her pocket, its smooth surface a comforting reminder of Grandma Eleanor's enduring presence. Hollyhaven House had been saved, not just from the threat of sale, but from the coldness of forgotten traditions and fractured relationships. And as the snow fell softly outside, blanketing the house in a serene white, Maggie knew in her heart that the true miracle of Christmas had indeed come to Hollyhaven House.
This is a heartwarming ending to Chapter 5. It leaves us with a sense of hope and a belief in the power of love, family, and the enduring spirit of Christmas.
It's a beautiful reminder that the greatest gifts are often the ones we create, the ones that come from the heart.
Now I'm really eager to see how it all wraps up. What treasures does Chapter 6, A Christmas Miracle, have in store for us?
Well, we don't have much time left, so let's jump right into the final chapter. Christmas morning dawned, bright and beautiful. The world outside transformed into a winter wonderland. The spirit of celebration filled every corner of Hollyhaven House, from the sparkling ornaments on the towering Christmas tree to the aroma of cinnamon and pine that wafted through the air. Gifts were exchanged, laughter echoed through the halls, and carols were sung with gusto. But amidst the merriment, a sense of anticipation lingered, a feeling that something truly special was about to unfold.
The author sets the stage for a grand finale, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That sense of anticipation, that feeling that something extraordinary is about to happen.
Right.
It keeps us on the edge of our seats, eager to see how the story culminates.
It's like the calm before a magical storm. Okay, let's continue. As the family gathered for their traditional Christmas breakfast, Uncle Pete reached into his bag and pulled out a small, beautifully wrapped package. He handed it to Jack, his eyes twinkling with a mixture of mischief and affection. "Merry Christmas, brother," he said. "I think it's time you had this back."
This is a clever way to introduce a moment of emotional significance.
Mm-hmm.
The beautifully wrapped package, the twinkling eyes,
Mm-hmm.
it all points to something more than just a simple gift exchange. It suggests a deeper meaning, a gesture of reconciliation, and perhaps even a revelation.
It definitely piques our curiosity.
Okay.
Next section. Jack carefully unwrapped the package, his fingers trembling slightly. Inside, nestled in a bed of tissue paper, was a framed photograph. It was a picture of their mother, her face beaming with love as she stood between her two young sons, their arms wrapped around her waist. The photograph, faded with time but still radiating warmth, captured a moment of pure joy, a reminder of the bond that had once united them.
This is a powerful symbol of familial love and connection. The faded photograph represents not just a shared past, but also a reminder of the enduring strength of their mother's love, a love that transcends time and distance. It's a beautiful way to visually represent the healing that has taken place within the family.
It's a poignant reminder that even in the face of conflict, love can endure, binding families together across generations. Okay, let's see what happens next. Tears welled in Jack's eyes as he gazed at the photograph. Memories flooded back, memories of childhood laughter, shared secrets, and the unwavering love of their mother. He looked at Pete, his heart overflowing with a mixture of gratitude and remorse. "Thank you, Pete," he whispered. This means more than you know."
This is a beautiful moment of catharsis. Jack's tears, his whispered words, it all speaks volumes about the emotional weight of this gift. It's a culmination of the healing journey he's been on throughout the story, a recognition of the precious bond he'd almost lost.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most meaningful gifts are the ones that help us reconnect with our past, our loved ones, and ourselves. Okay, next section. The rest of Christmas morning passed in a blur of laughter, games, and shared stories. The family, reunited and filled with a newfound appreciation for one another, reveled in the simple joys of being together. They built snowmen in the front yard, their laughter echoing through the crisp winter air. They sipped hot cocoa by the crackling fire, sharing stories of Christmases past and dreams for the future. And as the sun began its descent, casting long shadows across the snow-covered landscape, Maggie felt a tug on her sleeve.
This is a lovely depiction of the idyllic Christmas day.
Mm-hmm.
The author captures the essence of family togetherness, those shared moments of laughter, connection, and simple joy that make the holidays so special.
Yep.
It's a reminder that sometimes the most precious gifts are the intangible ones, the ones that come from simply being present with loved ones.
It's a beautiful reminder to savor those moments, to appreciate the gift of togetherness, especially during the holiday season. Okay, let's see what happens next. It was Uncle Pete, a mischievous twinkle in his eye. "Come with me, Maggie," he whispered. "I think we have one more surprise for the family." He led her back up to the attic, the room where she had found the glass bell and Grandma Eleanor's recipe cards.
This is a clever way to bring the story full circle.
Right.
Back to the attic where Maggie's journey of discovery began, it suggests a sense of closure, a final revelation that will tie everything together.
It's like we're about to uncover the last piece of the puzzle. Okay, next section. Pete pointed to a dusty trunk tucked away in a corner. "Your grandmother wanted you to have this," he said. "She knew you'd be the one to find it, the one to understand its importance." Maggie lifted the heavy lid, revealing a stack of letters, tied with a faded ribbon. The letters, penned in Grandma Eleanor's familiar script, were addressed to each member of the family to be opened on this very Christmas day.
This is a beautiful way to bring Grandma Eleanor's presence back into the story. The letters, written in her own hand, become a tangible expression of her love, wisdom, and enduring connection to her family. It's a reminder that even in absence, loved ones can leave behind treasures that continue to shape our lives.
It's a poignant reminder that words have the power to transcend time, to connect us to loved ones even after they're gone. Okay, let's see what happens next. As Maggie carried the letters downstairs, a hush fell over the room. Each family member, their faces a mixture of anticipation and emotion, carefully opened their letter, their eyes scanning the familiar handwriting. Grandma Eleanor's words, filled with love, encouragement, and a deep understanding of each of their hearts, washed over them like a warm embrace. She had known, even in her absence, what each of them needed to hear, the words that would heal old wounds, strengthen bonds, and rekindle the spirit of family.
This scene is so beautifully written, so emotionally resonant. The letters, filled with Grandma Eleanor's love and wisdom, act as a catalyst for healing and growth. It's as if her spirit is present in the room, guiding her family towards a brighter future.
It's a powerful testament to the enduring power of love and the importance of cherishing those we hold dear.
Hmm.
Okay, let's move on to the next part. Jack, his voice thick with emotion, read aloud from his letter. "My dear Jack," Grandma Eleanor had written, "never doubt the strength of your family, the love that binds you together. Hollyhaven House is more than just bricks and mortar. It's a testament to the love and laughter that have filled its walls for generations. Cherish it, protect it, and never let it go. For within its walls lies the heart of our family."
This is a pivotal moment in the story.
Hmm.
Grandma Eleanor's words, spoken through Jack's voice, reaffirm the importance of Hollyhaven House as a symbol of family unity and a repository of cherished memories. It's a powerful message about the enduring strength of family bonds and the importance of preserving legacy.
It's a beautiful reminder that home is more than just a place. It's a feeling, a connection, a refuge for the heart. Okay, next section. As Jack finished reading, a profound silence settled over the room. Then, as if on cue, a faint jingling sound filled the air. It seemed to emanate from the attic, a gentle chime that echoed through the house like a whisper from beyond. Maggie, her heart pounding, exchanged a knowing glance with Uncle Pete. They both knew, without a doubt, that it was Grandma Eleanor, her spirit present in that moment, sharing in their joy, reminding them that love, like the magic of Christmas, never truly fades away.
This is a beautiful and poignant ending to the story. The jingling bell, a recurring motif throughout the narrative, becomes a symbol of Grandma Eleanor's enduring presence, a reminder that even though she is physically gone, her love and spirit continue to watch over her family. It's a subtle yet powerful affirmation of the mystical and magical elements that can be found in the ordinary, especially during the Christmas season.
It's a beautiful way to wrap up the story, leaving us with a sense of wonder, hope, and a belief in the enduring power of love and family.
What a heartwarming and inspiring Christmas tale. I feel like I've been on a journey with Maggie and her family, experiencing their joys, their sorrows, and their ultimate triumph.
Me too. It's been a wonderful deep dive into A Christmas Miracle at Hollyhaven House. But before we say goodbye, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've learned from this heartwarming tale.
Well, this story reminds us that the true magic of Christmas lies in the connections we forge with our loved ones, in the traditions we cherish, and in the spirit of generosity and forgiveness that we embrace. It teaches us that even in the face of adversity, hope can prevail, and that the greatest gifts are often the ones we create through acts of love, kindness, and compassion.
It's a beautiful message, isn't it? A message that's especially relevant during this time of year, when we're reminded of the importance of family, togetherness, and the enduring power of the Christmas spirit.
And as we gather with our loved ones this holiday season, let's remember the lessons we've learned from Maggie and her family. Let's embrace the spirit of giving, forgiveness, and togetherness, and let's strive to create our own Christmas miracles, big or small, in our own families and communities.
Beautifully said. And with that, we come to the end of our deep dive into A Christmas Miracle at Hollyhaven House. We hope you've enjoyed this heartwarming journey as much as we have.
Thanks for joining us for this special Christmas deep dive.
Thanks for dropping by Kringle's Christmas Stories, and have a very Merry Christmas. Remember to get your Comet's Choice reindeer food at cometschoice.com.